Hey everyone, how are you? My name is Christopher Peraldi. I'm the general manager of Teoma USA, and I wanted to first thank you, Russ, for having me come in your office today. I do appreciate it. I know you're quite busy. Russ McCluskey is the owner and partner of Edison Mortgage Group in Cape Coral, Florida. And Russ, the reason I'm here today, brother, is I get questions day in and day out with my group. You know, I talk to people inside my organization that are doing well financially and they're about to make a purchase in a home or maybe refinance the home they're in now, because a lot of things are going on with rates that I see on the news, and I'm getting questions every day. In fact, last night, hey Chris, what's the best way to buy this or buy that? Rather than me answering that question, what would be the one thing you could tell somebody about coming to you or going to the banks they recognize that are on the street, like a Wells Fargo or Bank of America? What would the difference be?
Well, first of all, Chris, I appreciate you stopping by my office, and
Thank
I thank you very much. So hopefully when we're done with this little talk, we can actually help some people out there and make them feel comfortable about purchasing a home or refinancing a home in the state of Florida. Right now, situation is a little bit different because of the coronavirus pandemic, and it's thrown the financial world in a little bit of a turmoil. So as far as the rates, I get people coming to me thinking that the rates are at 0 to 1/4% because the feds were cutting the rates to that.
Right.
That doesn't follow through in the mortgage business. The mortgage rates are good. They are better than they've been almost in history.
Right.
But when somebody comes in, each rate is going to be determined on that client's scenario. It's going to be determined on their credit score. It's going to be determined on how much debt they have. It's going to be determined on how much loan they're going to be purchasing. And at that time, I'll be able to look over a client's scenario and tell them exactly what their rate will be so that they don't have to worry.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this, Russ. If somebody comes to you and they decide to purchase a home or maybe refinance the home they're in now, or a condo, per se, you know, I know from past experience, you're not a guy that at 9 o'clock you start and 5:30 end. A lot of questions are, what if there's a question on a Saturday or a Sunday or late at night on a Monday? If somebody hears something, what would they do if they worked with you and your team?
Well, that's the thing, Chris. If somebody was to go to a regular, I call street corner bank,
right.
Bank of America, Wells Fargo,
right.
Fifth Third, one of those,
right.
They're open from 9 to 5.
Right.
When they close that door, they're done for the night.
Right.
And a lot of times when you contact whoever you're dealing with to find out about your loan, you're bounced around from person to person. Right. You don't have one set person for your loan. If you use us to either purchase a home
right.
or to refinance your home, you're always going to be able to get in touch with me,
right.
and I don't work business hours. That's why when you look at our website and it says hours, it doesn't have anything there, right. because I want people to know they can call me in the morning, they can call me in the evening, right. and they can call me on weekends. I'm always available for them no matter where I go. I take my computer with me and right. make sure that I've got my ability to help a person out no matter what time of day or night it is. And you can't get that personalization when you right. go to a regular quote-unquote street corner bank.
Absolutely. Another question I got, and this was actually last night, if somebody were to hire you or utilize you and your team to finance a home or maybe refinance a home, what is the fees if they actually came in and it didn't work out for them? Let's say, you know, the financing didn't work, they didn't have the down payment or something didn't make sense. Is there a fee on your part to the client?
I'm going to talk about two things with fees. The difference between us and other mortgage companies in the state of Florida is not everybody, but most right. mortgage companies have an application fee. Right. So when that client goes to fill out the application, it's usually a $295 fee. Right. Now the reason is so that if the client backs out, at least that mortgage broker got some compensation.
Right.
We have no application fee. So
when basically nothing at all.
Nothing. But
wow.
then the other thing is, right off the bat, once an application's filled out,
right.
you have to pull credit.
Right. It's
not cheap. It's $50 right. for a single person, $65 for right. applicant and co-applicant. Right. Now, other places will either charge the client on their credit card up front,
right.
or it'll be on their final closing disclosure as a charge to them.
Right.
I pay for every client's credit report, whether it be a single person or a double.
Right.
I pay for all of that. And so there is no risk to fill out an application to see if you're approved. Wanted to go over one thing, too, that's the main difference is when you do a loan with us, right. the client doesn't pay us. Each of our lenders, we have 14 different lenders that we are signed up to do business with. And with the contract with each of them, they pay us directly, and they all pay us the same amount. That way, we can't take somebody to a lender that we're going to make more money from.
Gotcha.
We get paid directly from the lender, and I made sure that in our contracts, our lenders do not have an underwriting fee.
Right.
So that being said, when the client's got their closing costs, they're going to be the absolute minimum, exactly what you need to close on a loan in the state of Florida. Wow. Nothing more. There's no quote unquote junk fees added into their closing disclosure. Wow.
And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, another reason I'm here is Russ and his team, they've been in the business for over 20 years, Russ. Is that correct?
April 1988. No, excuse me, 1998.
Right. Okay.
So a little over 21 years is how long I've been doing mortgages in the state of Florida. And once again, we do the entire state, Chris. We've got realtors anywhere from Key West all the way to Jacksonville.
Really?
So, yeah.
So if somebody's in, let's say, Pensacola, Florida on the Panhandle, all the way up there on the left-hand side, right by Tennessee, you can finance them.
As long as they're in the state of Florida,
Really?
we're good to go.
Wow. So, you know, a lot of my team, people I work with, they're all over the state, in which, you know, now that question is, can I utilize somebody and who can I use? Here's what I like about Russ and his team, and I could talk about personal experience, and I've referred him and his team, many people that I work with. He's blatantly honest. If something doesn't make sense or if something doesn't look right, he's going to tell you exactly what it should be, not what you want to hear, which is so important in this process. And I'm sure you will agree. A lot of people want to feel the fluffy, puffy conversation. Oh, it's going to work. It's not going to work. You tell them exactly what it's going to be. And it may not be what they want to hear, but the truth is what they need to hear. Is that correct?
Without a doubt. And also when I tell them that they can't do it for whatever that reason is, I'll try to get them help or guide them to get them in a position to be able to get approved in a month or 2 months or whatever it takes. And the other thing is, I'll never pull a bait and switch. I'll never try to get a client by quoting them an interest rate that's something I cannot get just to bring them in.
Right.
And now that they're all deep into the deal, now everything changes. Right. I'm always going to give people right off the bat the worst case scenario. Right. That way, when they're ready to close, everything's going to be like it was or better, but it'll never be worse.
And that's important. And here's why I brought that up. I would say 8-9 months ago, a personal friend of mine was coming to Russ and his team. And at the time, he didn't have the right things to get the financing. And Russ told him, give it some time. And I think it was 6 months later, that individual and his family purchased the home, which I thought was important. So the deal wasn't dead. It just wasn't at the right time because they weren't able to, for whatever reason. And you work with them until the time was right for them and their family, which I thought was really important.
I always tell all of my realtor partners, and that's why they refer business to me, is that when they give me a client, I'm going to take care of them from the very beginning when they refer that person's name to me, and I'm going to guide them and hold their hand all the way to the closing table. Right. If it takes 30 days, great. If it takes a year, then we got to do that.
Right. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I think is important. You know, with what I do for work, you know, I'm working with a lot of variables in my business. And with Russ, when you come to him and his team, they handle everything. You just got to be able to speak to them when the time is right. And it's whenever you're available. So if it's in the middle of the day, if it's on a Sunday morning, Russ and his staff, and it's not just him, he has a team of people that he works with to make sure that the process is done correctly and the home is purchased. And I'll tell you, there's nothing better that when you have the keys to your new home, you get in there and you actually own something that is yours for the, you know, the most of your life in most cases, which is important.
Correct.
Russ, listen, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to come. You know, I came to his office today. I wanted to kind of bring this to the audience, and I know a lot of them are out there watching this thinking, that was a question that I asked Christopher. That was a question that I asked him before. If you guys have a question or a concern, contact Russ and his team. He has no problem answering the phone, answering an email, which I'm sure you can do if somebody has an idea or something they want to talk about. The only question that's not good is the one you don't ask, which I think is so important. So if you have something that's on your mind or a thought, let his team know. And I can promise you this, he's going to give you the right information so you're more solid in your process of purchasing a home or refinancing it.
Correct. So first of all, Chris, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
you, Russ.
by.
I appreciate that, man.
And anybody out there that has any questions, just contact my office at 239-633-4663 or shoot us an email and we'll get back to you and help you out in any way that we can. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Russ. Appreciate you.